SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at the trading environment really coming into this week. Should be an interesting one and a hopeful one at that. So like I said, I'm bullish until proven otherwise at this point now. There's quite a lot of signs of life brewing, simmering on the charts here for Bitcoin, I suppose, but mostly for traditional markets driven by the currency markets, so the FX market. So we saw that Dixie pulled back last week, and we're looking to see if we're going to get continuation on this over a period of weeks. So like I say, between 2 to 6 weeks should see ourselves revisit that 50 exponential. You've heard me say it a million times, so that's my expectation. So obviously that's right down here at like 103.8, but yeah, it's not going to be there when we tag it. So that's my expectation. So what's going to feed into this then, outside of, I suppose, things like indices, stocks, commodities moving up? It's mostly going to be the FX market, and the main driver of this was the Japanese yen. Still is the Japanese yen. We're seeing a big buyback on this at the moment, so we're seeing a big bounce on the dollar, on the Japanese yen. So we had a move like this previously. This is where the Bank of Japan basically sold a lot of their bonds, their American-backed bonds, to buy back yen, and it didn't really work out for them. Similar kind of thing happened here again, but this time round we've reached and overshot basically a very significant area, that 150. We're trying to creep back up there now. Now, Bank of Japan, they need to, well, I say they need to, they're likely to step in and make some kind of monetary policy changes, which should start to cause an inverse effect on this chart. So other than the previous sort of dump and buy and continue to rise back up in the dollar, this one should start to roll over at this point and continue down. Now we look at the pound. Now the pound reached its major area of resistance, that 114 area, top of the ascending triangle. Yeah, we can come back down to the bottom again, just like we did previously, where I said, look, we're likely to bounce from here, go back up to the top. My expectation is that we will break out of this, and we will continue up to 116, maybe even up to 120 on the pound. We've got the euro as well, which actually broke out of its ascending triangle up to the 50 exponential, 50 simple. Actually, that's basically what the pound did as well. So these two are basically moving together. They're doing the same old thing. Now this has come down to its major area of support currently, which is 98. So long as we're above 98, I say, then there's a chance for us to reach back up to parity and see where we go from there. I think parity, revisiting parity is quite likely at this point now. If there's I suppose a coordinated effort from currency markets to bring down that Dixie. And the Dixie isn't just dictated by currency markets, although it definitely is. bit of a random statement. I mean, it definitely is, but it's also a sign of are people going in and out of dollars anyway, and back into things like stocks and commodities. Now the main commodity that I've focused on is oil, and oil's coming down to its major area of support, which is basically the top of this falling wedge, which should also revisit this area here, about 83, we'll call it, roughly speaking, about 83. There's give or take little bits here and there. It's a volatile chart, so we'll call it roughly 83, and this is on the US oil, but yeah, it's gonna be a more or less the same for most crude oil prices here. So we'll be looking for a bounce on oil at around 83 probably today. Now if we don't get a bounce from here, then yeah, it goes back down into the 70s, and we'll see Dixie continue to rise, and we'll see euro and pound and yen continue to fall. So let's have a think about Bitcoin with all of that in mind, and like I say, the big players, the huge cogs in the machine being the FX market continuing to turn, and hopefully moving into the next gear really, which continues to bring that Dixie down. And again, this is day one of week, potentially 6 weeks of price action that should bring us down to that 50 exponential on the weekly for Dixie. So if day one isn't going the way that you think it's going to go, don't worry. There's many days for this to continue to play. It doesn't have to happen all in one go. I know patience is something that people often struggle with. when you chart things on a weekly, patience has to be one of your main assets and personality traits, because otherwise you drive yourself insane looking at 5-minute chart after analysis has been suggested on a weekly. You go mad. So Bitcoin not looking too bad, but again, it's not looking amazing. We're now outside of the descending triangle. We moved our way back up into the box of significance for a brief period of time. Broke the 200 exponential, had a 4-hourly candle where we supported above it, and then broke down to the 21 exponential. Again, this is all sort of very early days. It's day one of what I think is going to be a 2 to 6 weeks periods of bullish momentum, which will eventually take Bitcoin up to roughly about 26 kind of area. We'll see where we go from there. And again, day one seems okay for the very first day. I wasn't really expecting much. In fact, yesterday I was saying, look, this is a resistance. We should expect it to act as resistance first of all, and get rejected and probably come back down into this box, really. But no, we broke straight out and had a big pump. Excitement move. Now, obviously, that's being sold off because the Dixie's not really doing much. It's not breaking down immediately. Get out, any trades? Oh my god. No, remember, patience. So what we've got then, since we did have this move, is we've got ourselves a pump signal generated on the 4-hourly chart for Bitcoin here on the Itchy Cloud. So Chiku span above the cloud, price above cloud, cross took place around here. Obviously, green portion of the cloud. So we're waiting for a pump to continue now on the 4-hourly. So there's a few areas where we could entertain coming down to. First of all, we've already met first one, which is your more or less a Bollinger Band center, isn't it, really? It's your 21 exponential, getting a support on there, starting to move up. We could also hit the trend line of this descending triangle, because it is quite relevant. It's been in here since, what was it, the 14th, 15th of June, of August. So we could come down to revisit that. And so whether we bounce from here already right now, or we break down a little further and bounce from, well, just around this area, around 19,150, and then see if this takes us up into the box, and then we start to build a trend. Again, we're not looking for anything massively aggressive, because this is, if you think about this is one giant machine that I'm charting here. It's not just as simple as Bitcoin, although Bitcoin is looking encouraging already. It's mostly currency markets that feed into the Dixie, and obviously commodities as well. We could look at silver and oil, so silver and gold as well, although it would take us forever to go through this video to try and look at all those, but they're more or less doing the same thing that oil's trying to do, which is as a commodity bounce and actually start an uptrend. So same thing is going on with indices as well, stocks. So I'm still in my positions from last week, which is great. Stop loss is all in profit, because I expect this to work out anyway. So I'm going to leave those to ride. And now I'll be looking a bit more closely at how crypto is going to behave, because crypto is the afterthought of the overall markets. Really, it's not really doing much on its own. It's pretty risky stuff anyway, but it's extra risky when you're looking at a pivotal moment in the market right now. And again, I'm not looking for anything amazing either. I'm just looking for another bear market rally to begin with and see where we go from there. There's no reason to expect a new bull market across all boards right now. It just doesn't seem realistic to expect that. But we could easily be seeing another bear market rally, similar to the everything bounce that we got back in June and July. So the same sort of vibe has taken place as far as I can see. But remember, this is day one. This is day one of 6 weeks of what I think is going to be, general up across all of these things, whether it's oil, silver, gold, stocks, indices, currencies, and crypto. So, like I say, we'll just sit back and wait. We're going to need American markets to open for the most part, because most of these things aren't traded. It's only currencies and oil that's opened at the moment. And for the moment, they're all coming to their supports. And so if they remain at supports and then pick up pace from there, we're looking at, I suppose, another entry point for me on oil, which is going to be around 83. And I suppose, we're looking for a support to hold more or less right now on euro. And yen, again, looking for a rejection anywhere from here, really. That's what I'll be looking for. If we do start to break above where we're at right now, this 149.3, then yeah, maybe we do go back into a full recovery. And I think yen is the main thing. It's the front runner of the lot. This is where the move began. This is where the move should see momentum and continuation. So we want to see dollar weakness versus yen on this chart. So this will this will help us, I suppose, if any chart is going to be the most useful, this is going to be the most useful to focus on when referring to all the others, whether it's oil, stocks, indices, Bitcoin and crypto alike. I think we're all watching yen at the moment to see if we get a rejection from this almost exact level right now. I think we will, but it's still very early days. Remember, day one. It's just day one. So let's sit back, watch, chill, wait for the American markets to open, and then over the next 2 to 6 weeks, we should have that rejection and continuation and follow through on the Dixie, and this should be felt on Bitcoin eventually. And my target for Bitcoin would be about 26,600 or so, which was the measured move that we did last week. Right, I'm going to leave it with you there. There's not much more to say. I know it's boring, but like I say, think about the trading environment right now as one giant machine led by the yen, and we'll keep our eyes on that first and foremost, I suppose. Right, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take it easy.